sonar lost contact. Master 1, last bearing 333. Contact is in the baffles.
This might be a bit of an adventure. Since we're taking a little bit less than optimal path, the extra knot or two of speed we're able to put on above the whale, 8 knots, is perfectly fine. Oh boy. Hang on, I'm just pinging my roommate quick, because he was making food. Okay, so this is certainly one of the more awkward moments I've ever been in. It seems like the whale climbed. Okay, we're getting a little too close to him. We're gonna slow down a bit.
5 knots. Maneuvering eye.
Yeah, we're gonna slow down a bit while the whale opens up again, because we probably want him at about 3 or 400 yards.
Maneuvering. Making turns for 5 knots.
Worse than you know we already have. Actually, if we're gonna run at 5 knots anyway,
for ultra quiet.
Let's be as quiet as possible. See if the Russians get bored. No, the aircraft got bored. The ships are still around, though. He's at 11. Now, if we can get these guys to open their range up to 15, we can disengage at 15. But I want to continue getting telemetry on the whale, please. Okay. Anybody who's still in chat, I have a question for you. Do you think we're too close to the whale, or do we need to get closer to the whale? Or at this point, do we wait to see what this the Russian frigate over here is doing, and then pick a perpendicular axis and run for our lives? That is also a valid option.
Make turns for 1
Let's get our speed
0
back up.
knots. Maneuvering eye.
Aw, whale
maneuvering.
sounds.
Making turns for
That does
1
not help with the
0
decision-making
knots.
process, Cat. Katie.
Con sonar lost contact. Master 1, last bearing 319. Contact is in the
We
baffles.
accelerated, so we pulled in the towed array. So we know he's somewhere behind us. We just don't know where exactly. But in the meantime, we're pretending to be a whale. My roommate's only response. Oh, hang on, let me find it. Of course, typical trickery. It's like, oh, well, fine, I see how it's gonna be, bud. That whale is a lot closer to the surface than we are. Oh, this is a screenshot if I've ever seen one. Hang on. Well, yeah, the thing is that it's going 8 knots and I don't have a setting for 8 knots. I have 5 knots and 10 knots. So I'm currently running at 10 knots and I'm kind of just bouncing back and forth between,
Make turns for 5 knots.
like 2,000
Make
yards,
turns
200
for
yards.
10 knots.
say-
Maneuvering eye.
Oh, actually, he's turning, so I want to slow down.
Make turns for 5 knots. Maneuvering
That,
eye.
and we have the problem of there's a Russian frigate who is following.
Con maneuvering, making turns for 5 knots.
I kind of want the whale to dive, to be honest. Like, dive. So that I can figure out what depths he wants to hang out at. I honestly don't know if he likes being followed, but I also haven't made a peep, so... I'm tempted to, like, active sense sonar ping at him and be like, see, we can sing too, but at the same time, that would be like me taking a massive, like, pile of glass, like, glassware, smashing it all on the floor and calling it music. It would just be painful to do, pick up, and clean, and then, you know, step on. And this guy is getting uncomfortably close. He still doesn't have a contact on us, but he is getting very close. And the whale is swimming straight at him. Oh, crud. Well, there's only one way this goes well. And that is, we pretend to be the whale, and he buys
0
it.
knots. Maneuvering aye.
So we are now part of the pod.
Con maneuvering, making turns for 10 knots.
Yeah. So it would be a cat screech. Does whale song. So we are pretending to be a whale, because the Russians are right there. That was required. Problem? Okay. I agree with you, Mr. Whale. That Russian boat is loud, and I don't like it. Any more than you do, I'm sure. This is working way better than I thought it would. Like, for the record. Oh, I should be so dead. I should be so unbelievably dead right now, and I am so unbelievably not. They're actually buying this. Okay, 5-degree right rudder. I don't want to hit the whale, but the whale is definitely diving, which is good for us. Because I'm basically just going to pull up alongside. We're a wee bit bigger than he is, though, so this might be a little intimidating, but at the same time... I'm out of torpedoes. I have no weapons. So I need to go back to England and rearm. But, because the Navy base at Holy Loch, UK, is where we need to get going. Okay, it looks like he's diving, so we're going to start having slight downward
Passing
ballast.
300 feet.
I do very much mean slight downward ballast. I would totally kill them, by the way. Like, if this was any other situation, this would have been over like 20 minutes ago. But it's not, because I ran out of torpedoes. Because they told me to intercept an invasion fleet with only 7 total weapons. 4 harpoons and 3 torpedoes. And I have managed to kill every single one of the invasion transports. I think they had a submarine escort. I think he left. I know that 2 of the escort ships left unscathed, but we are hanging out with the whale. I'm taking a couple screenshots because this is hilarious. We're also going to slow down at this point.
Make turns
Let the whale
for
get back
5
in front of us.
knots. Maneuvering aye.
Because we're trying to follow him, not the other way around. And I don't want to kill the whale. The whale's been my buddy.
Con, maneuvering. Making turns for
But this will
5
let us run out our
knots.
total ray. And the total ray will be nice because it'll give us another microphone off a ways behind our boat, which will give us good sensor telemetry so I don't have to worry about somebody getting in my baffles. Because it'll run out behind the prop. That it'll also hopefully give me better telemetry and make sure there aren't any submarines out stalking me. Because, I mean, at this point, if there's a submarine stalking me, he'd be engaging me. But at the same time, it's better to be safe than sorry. Yeah. What do we want to name the whale? I think we name him Blue because he's a blue whale, but that's also incredibly unoriginal. I think he sounds like a Will. What do you think? Will the whale? Yeah, no, this is Cold Waters with the Silver Ghost, also known as whale watching. Let's get our prop spot back up.
0 knots.
I
Maneuvering
want to
aye.
hang out with the whale. Also, by the way, we've actually been diving
Con,
throughout this entire
maneuvering.
process.
Making turns for 0 knots.
No. We still...
Passing 400
Okay.
feet.
So, he's out here patrolling, he's in here patrolling, they're both looking for me in the wreckage, and I'm just sitting here following the whale, like... We're leaving. I'm ignoring the fact that there's a submarine someplace. It's either a submarine or a fishing trawler, and I didn't know which, so we're just going to call it neither. Yeah, we're just kind of following the whale. These guys are out here searching for me. I guarantee they're probably hammering away on their active sonars. I just can't hear them. Between the fact that I'm on the other side of a layer now and the fact that we're hanging out with a whale. This is working. I am unbelievably impressed. You go, Will. Me and Will the whale are hanging out. You're getting a planet named after you, buddy. In Stellaris someday. I want to keep the whale. I want to keep the whale too. He's worked as absolutely great cover, but that's not how that works. Whales are kind of smart, sapient creatures that we can't necessarily keep. That, and to give you some kind of idea, this thing's huge. It would squish you. Probably. Very high percentage chance. No keeping the whales. Don't get to keep whales. They're good friends. They're large ocean mammal friends, but you don't get to keep them. Now, more importantly, what's the range on these guys? Okay, about 10,000 yards. So as soon as our range manages to open up to the point where okay,
Make turns for
we don't want to
5
get in front of the
knots.
whale because we don't want to
Maneuvering
spook
aye.
him and have him be like, "How about we don't?" and have him sheer off and go back to the Russians.
Con, maneuvering. Making turns for 5 knots.
But at the same time, we're totally using him to just walk away from this engagement with
Passing
zero
500
chance
feet.
of getting picked up. Because so far, they may have the whale. Especially with them singing. Like, they probably have a solid contact on this whale. Okay, it looks like the whale's leveled off. depth-wise, so we're going to even out our ballast. He's down at about 520 feet. And we are using the whale to inch away as we run out our towed array to give ourselves a little bit of time of sonar ops to just... Okay, the whale turned on us. So he's going to get a little bit away. It's okay. We'll shift rudder back over. We're going to let his range open up to like 0.4 kilometers, I think. We want to stay somewhat close in case the Russians do have a possible contact on us, because at this kind of range, it's very hard to distinguish between us and the whale, I bet you. So we are going to take complete advantage of this to just kind of inch away from the Russians, because they are definitely in search and destroy mode. Like, these two guys are mad. I mean, I'd be mad too. I kind of killed a bunch, but I know I'm happy. We walked away with 5 kills. That is enormously successful.
Make turns for 10 knots. Maneuvering aye.
I'm gonna get a little closer to the whale horizontally too. Only a degree or two.
Con maneuvering. Making turns for
Right.
10 knots.
Alright, so now we're back up to 10 knots on our let's get away from the active sonar hammering people, who I actually want to get better telemetry locks on. Oop, that's the sunk one. Hey! They're about to pull warships. Wouldn't that be great? They just ram each other and explode. Oh, that'd be beautiful. Somebody would lose their job, though. Okay, so they're doing evasion things. We have pretty solid contacts on both of them. Check the heading on the blue whale. Okay. So they don't hear me on active. Let me just check quick. You don't have me on active. Do you have me on active? Yeah, neither of those two guys actually have me on active sonar right now. They're hammering away at the active, which is why the whale is swimming away, because that stuff's loud and hurts. Like, we can hear it and we have a submarine worth of dampening. I can't imagine what it would sound like to somebody whose ears are naturally attuned to the ocean. But the ocean's otherwise very quiet at 75 decibels, so they do not have us. They have the whale. I guarantee you they have the whale, because the whale keeps singing. So they know there's a whale up here, but a whale is not a submarine. So even if they get some kind of return on their active, they're going to assume it's off the whale, because they know there's a whale. Makes sense. Oh man, though, this is no, they're still too close. Oh boy, I'm sorry that this is not, like, incredible entertaining explosions, but oh man. This has been probably one of the most stressful games of engagements in cold waters I've ever had. So now they're probably going to start a search pattern. So this is going to probably do something like that. You're going to do something like this. So we're going to keep our hydro eyeballing the caching. And we're just going to have to do this by, like, visual inspection to stay with the whale. Oh. Oh yeah, so you guys are all sitting here on a... Oh no, it has nothing to do with you guys being the microscope. Oh no, 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 that's not an issue at all. The issue is I ran out of torpedoes. And that makes this game infinitely more difficult.
Make turns for 5
But I have
knots.
cookies, so it's
Maneuvering
okay.
aye.
No.
Con maneuvering. Making
I
turns
have done that
for
to a helicopter
5
before, though.
knots.
I had a helicopter that would not leave me alone. I think Whale Buddy's leaving us. But anyway, I had this helicopter that would not leave me alone, so I finally just said screw it, breached my sub out, but I did it in enough velocity that I actually came up out of the water enough that as he was sitting there, like 5 feet above the water, dropping his hydro down, I just popped out of the water, nailed him in the tail, and he kind of just flipped out, smashed into the water, and then I dove